how do I double my income? And how do I double my income as many times as possible? That way I can keep earning more money. Now, that might sound a little bit unrealistic, but this is where I want you to start being a little bit unrealistic. Because if you really want to become wealthy, remember what we talked about here, you have to believe that it's possible for you. And the people that can actually become wealthy, well, guess what? They believed it's possible for them. And this is where now I want you to think. If you're making, let's just say $50,000 a year, what would it take for you to earn $500,000 a year? To add another zero to that. Now, as soon as you hear me say that, you might say, Jaspreet, what in the world are you talking about? How in the world do you expect me to go from $50,000 to $500,000? But if I said you had to figure out how to do that, what would you do? Maybe you'd start watching some YouTube videos on how to earn more money. Maybe you'd start reading some books on how to earn more money. Maybe you listen to some podcasts. Maybe you take some classes. Maybe you start trying things. And now you start experimenting on how to increase your income. And guess what? There are ways for you to turn your annual income into your monthly income. People have done that. And then there are ways to turn your annual income into your weekly income. People have done that. And there are ways to turn your annual income into your daily income. People have done that. Now, of course, is that very likely? No, but people have done that. And this is where you don't have to kill yourself and drive for the rest of your life trying to just increase your income. But if you really want to get to that wealth sooner rather than later, if you want to increase your cash flow, you got to put some effort into here. How do you increase and double your income faster? And there's a lot of education out there on how to do that. Now, there's going to be a lot of mistakes made by you. Every single person goes through that. I went through that multiple times. There's going to be a learning curve. There's going to be that hurdle. There's going to be that time involved. There's going to be that stress involved. There's going to be that risk involved. That's all part of the game. You can't avoid that. There's no like, oh, you just do this, this, and this to double your income. That's not what I'm talking about, okay? That's a bunch of other people on the internet that are selling crap on how to just make $10,000 a month doing nothing. That doesn't work. What I'm talking about now is how do you actually work to increase your income? How do you increase your skill set? How do you sharpen your skill set? How do you increase the value that you can provide somebody else, your business or whatever, to earn more money? And this is where you want to be starting to invest into that as well. Maybe that means you get a career change. Maybe that means you work to get a certificate. Maybe that means you work to get a job change. Maybe that means you start a side hustle. Maybe that means you start a business. You got to figure out what's right for you. And one of the funny questions that I get asked is, Jaspreet, what business should I start? I don't know. I don't like this idea of just going out and doing X, Y, and Z, going out and doing Amazon fulfillment or doing e-commerce or doing whatever people talk about on the internet, because that's not a real business to me. And there's a lot of failures involved with that. And you're just kind of just following somebody else's system. That to me is not entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is innovating, creating something, building something that you are passionate about, where you believe that you can actually impact the world. And you got to figure out where that value is for you. Maybe you don't start a business. Maybe you don't start a side hustle. Not everybody should be an entrepreneur. Maybe you're going to work in your job. Maybe you're going to work in your company. Maybe you're going to ask your boss. Maybe you work to get a different job or a certificate or something. But you got to work now to increase your income, to increase the value that you can provide as a person. That way you can earn more money. And now as you earn more money, you continue following that financial system. If you keep investing your money more aggressively, well, guess what? Now you have more money going to buy you more cash flow. You have more money buying you more investments. That we can get to that wealth number even sooner. This brings us to point 9 of the checklist, which is asset protection. As you start building your wealth, you need to start thinking about how do you protect your wealth. That means now talking to the right people, talking to the right advisors. That means on the legal side, how do you have lawyers there to protect you? Because when people realize you have money, they're going to try to take their hands, put it in your pocket, and take some of the money for themselves. I told you earlier in this video that I started investing in real estate earlier on. And when I started investing in real estate, I had no idea what I was doing. And as I started getting involved with real estate, I had a not so good tenant in my first property. And the not so good tenant ended up suing me. Well, actually, she sued my real estate company. And the reason why she sued my real estate company was because she claimed that the bathtub was too slippery when the water was on. True story. And she wanted to go after the quote unquote rich landlord for some money by getting one of those free attorneys. I had no idea what was going on. I was a young kid. I think I was 20 years old or 21 years old at the time when the lawsuit came in. And I didn't really know how to handle it. But I had insurance. Insurance worked to settle the claim, and the other party didn't actually win anything because we found out that they didn't actually slip and fall in the bathtub. They slipped and fell at a friend's barbecue. But all this to say, you want to make sure you have the right advisors, because guess what? In this world, people will try to come after you when they realize you have money. So you want to make sure you have the right legal protection there. You want to start thinking about estate planning. Even though you might be young, you want to start thinking about what happens if you were to pass away. How do you get the right estate planning in place? Talk to an estate planning attorney. You want to make sure you have the right financial guidance. Get a good tax advisor. Guess what? The IRS tax code is a tax code. It is a rule book. And you want to make sure you have a good advisor that can guide you on how to use the rule book to pay the least amount of money in taxes legally. So you want to start investing in this asset protection as you start to build that wealth. And of course, you want to think about now, how do you leave that legacy as well? How do you give back? How do you help other people? Because at the end of the day, as you work to build that wealth, you're going to have the ability to help other people, not just through more money, but also through your time. And this is very important now. As you build your wealth, as you start to fill your cup with water, how can you help fill other people's cups? Because if you have an empty cup of water, you can't give anybody else water. But as you start to fill that cup of water with water, and by water I mean that wealth here, now you have the ability to fill other people's cups of water. And the nice thing here is as you start to build that wealth, you can help to fill other people's cups of waters without really draining your cup as well. And again, it's not just necessarily through money, but also through your time and through your education. And how can you help other people? Because you want to leave a legacy and not just keep everything for yourself because you can't take all this money with you, but understanding how you can help others and how you can leave a legacy in the world. If you enjoyed this clip and you want to continue your financial education journey, I have another video that I think you'll love. All you got to do is click that button right over there. And for those of you who want to stay up to date on the top finance and business news, you can join Market Briefs, my free financial newsletter, by clicking that button below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.